Hello, Los Angeles Lakers fan. We're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates. First of all, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It's crucial for you to stay informed with the news daily. Without further ado, let's get to the news. The buzz that started quietly has now grown into a full-blown whisper storm around the league because the idea of Al Horford packing his bags and heading west feels like one of those moves nobody saw coming, yet somehow makes too much sense to ignore. Sources close to locker room conversations suggest that Horford has listened carefully to an offer valued at $5 million, a number that might sound modest on paper, but carries layers of meaning far beyond the money itself. This is not about chasing a final paycheck, but about positioning legacy and the allure of a market that amplifies everything it touches. Horford is described as calm, reflective, and very aware of the moment he is living in, understanding that every decision now echoes louder than earlier chapters of his career. The whispers suggest that conversations were not rushed, that there was respect on both sides, and that the pitch focused on role, leadership, and fit rather than raw statistics. In private circles, the word is that he sees this as a chess move, not a gamble, a way to insert his experience into a system that values basketball intelligence. The idea of accepting such an offer is framed less as a discount and more as an investment in relevance, visibility, and one last meaningful run under the brightest lights possible. What truly fuels the rumor is how naturally his name has started to blend with the identity of the Los Angeles Lakers, as if fans and insiders alike are already picturing the fit before anything becomes official. The Lakers are always hunting for players who understand spacing, communication, and the subtle art of winning ugly possessions, and Horford's reputation in those areas speaks louder than any highlight reel. People around the situation claim that the front office sees him as a stabilizer, someone who does not need touches to impact a game, someone comfortable being a connective piece rather than a focal point. The rumor mill insists that the conversations emphasized how his voice in the locker room could be just as valuable as his minutes on the floor. There is a sense that this is about balance, about adding a veteran who knows when to slow things down and when to let the stars shine. In Los Angeles, perception matters, and Horford is viewed as a professional's professional, a name that signals seriousness. The idea floating around is that his presence alone could shift the tone of practices, film sessions, and late-game huddles, even if his box score lines remain modest. Another layer to this speculation revolves around lifestyle and timing, because relocating to Los Angeles is not just a basketball decision, it is a statement. Insiders whisper that Horford and his inner circle have weighed the off-court aspects carefully, understanding how the city can both elevate and exhaust. Yet the prevailing narrative is that he is drawn to the challenge, to the idea of performing in an environment where every game feels like an event and every comment is magnified. The offer of $5 million is framed as symbolic, almost a mutual handshake that says this is about fit rather than leverage. There is talk that he appreciates the transparency of the role being discussed, a role that respects his intelligence and does not ask him to be something he is not. The rumor suggests he sees value in mentoring younger teammates and being a reference point during tense stretches. In a league obsessed with youth and athleticism, Horford's appeal lies in angles, anticipation, and calm decision-making. That kind of value is hard to price, which is why the number attached to the offer feels secondary to the message behind it. The speculation also touches on timing within the broader league landscape, because moves like this rarely exist in isolation. People around the league say that Horford understands the window he is stepping into, a moment where experienced voices can tilt close contests. The Lakers' interest is described as deliberate rather than desperate, and that distinction matters. This is not about patching a hole, but about refining an identity. Horford's camp reportedly views the situation as an opportunity to redefine how late career contributions are measured. Instead of chasing minutes or shots, the focus is on impact per possession, on trust, and on being ready when the moment demands it. The rumor emphasizes that the coaching staff values his ability to read the floor, to make the extra pass, to call out defensive coverages before mistakes happen. In conversations, His name is linked with words like reliability and composure. Accepting a $5 million deal in this context is seen as a strategic concession, a way to align expectations from day one. The underlying belief is that clarity now prevents conflict later, especially in a market that rarely forgives confusion. What makes this story even more intriguing is how quietly it has unfolded, without flashy leaks or dramatic declarations. The whispers suggest mutual respect, almost old school in nature, where both sides acknowledge what the other brings without posturing. Horford is rumored to be intrigued by the idea of contributing to something larger than himself, understanding that in Los Angeles, championships and narratives intertwine. There's also talk that he appreciates the chance to play meaningful basketball deep into the season, rather than drifting through meaningless games. The $5 million figure keeps coming up not as a limitation, but as a signal of flexibility, a shared understanding that resources are finite but ambition is not. People close to the situation claim that he feels energized by the thought of adapting, of finding new ways to influence outcomes. This is not a farewell tour mentality, but a competitive one, grounded in realism. The rumor paints a picture of a veteran embracing evolution, choosing environment and purpose over ego. That mindset, if true, aligns perfectly with the Lakers' perpetual chase for relevance and banners. As the chatter grows louder, fans and analysts alike are filling in the blanks, projecting how this move could ripple through rotations and locker room dynamics. The speculation frames Horford as a calming force, someone who can absorb pressure rather than deflect it. In Los Angeles, pressure is currency, and not everyone knows how to spin it wisely. The rumor suggests that he does, that years of playoff battles have given him a steady pulse even when everything feels chaotic. Accepting an offer of $5 million becomes almost poetic in this context, a veteran saying the stage matters more than the spotlight. The narrative being whispered is not about a savior arriving, but about a craftsman joining a grand production, ready to play his part. Whether or not the deal materializes, the idea alone has already sparked debate and imagination. It speaks to how reputations endure, how certain names carry weight beyond numbers. In the end, this speculation is less about confirmation and more about possibility, about imagining how experience and ambition might intersect under the brightest lights in basketball. As the rumor continues to swirl, the deeper conversations turn toward how Horford's presence could subtly reshape expectations without ever demanding center stage. Insiders suggest that the Lakers see him as someone who understands the rhythm of long seasons, the emotional peaks and valleys that can derail talented rosters. The $5 million offer is described as intentionally clean, leaving no ambiguity about hierarchy while still showing respect. This clarity is said to appeal to Horford, who values honesty over inflated promises. The whispers indicate that he has studied potential lineups, visualizing where his skills could complement rather than complicate. In these imagined scenarios, his value is measured in defensive reads, timely screens, and the ability to keep the ball moving. The speculation paints him as a bridge between generations, fluent in both modern spacing concepts and old-school toughness. That duality is rare, and it is exactly what makes this rumor resonate. People close to the situation claim that he is motivated by the chance to matter in critical moments, even if those moments are brief. In Los Angeles, even brief moments can define careers, and Horford is said to be keenly aware of that reality. Another angle fueling this speculation is the psychological impact such a signing could have inside the locker room. Veterans recognize veterans, and there is talk that Horford's arrival would immediately command quiet respect. Not the loud, performative kind, but the kind built on consistency and preparation. The rumor suggests that his daily habits are part of the appeal, the way he approaches film, recovery, and communication. Coaches are said to admire players who make their jobs easier, who reinforce messages rather than challenge them. The $5 million number again surfaces as a point of alignment, signaling that this relationship would be collaborative rather than transactional. In a market where egos often clash, The idea of adding someone content with his role is refreshing. The speculation hints that younger players could benefit from his example, learning how to sustain a career through adaptability. That mentorship aspect is not listed on any contract, yet it is often the hidden return on investment. For a team constantly balancing urgency and development, that kind of influence can be invaluable, even if it never shows up in headlines. The rumor also leans into the narrative power of redemption and reinvention, themes that resonate strongly in Los Angeles. Horford is portrayed as a player who has already proven himself, yet still hungry to redefine how he is remembered. Accepting a $5 million deal is framed as an intentional reset, stripping away expectations tied to larger contracts. This reset allows him to focus purely on impact, free from the weight of justifying a paycheck. People around the league suggest that this freedom could unlock a version of Horford that thrives in short bursts, maximizing efficiency rather than endurance. The Lakers, according to whispers, appreciate this self-awareness, seeing it as a sign of maturity. In a city obsessed with narratives, the story of a seasoned veteran choosing fit over finances is compelling. It aligns with the franchise's mythos of stars and role players uniting for a common goal. The speculation does not promise dominance, but it teases cohesion, the kind that often separates contenders from pretenders. As talk shows and group chats light up with hypothetical rotations, the rumor gains momentum through imagination alone. Fans picture Horford anchoring second units, closing certain matchups, or simply being the steady presence when games feel on the brink. The $5 million offer becomes almost irrelevant in these discussions, overshadowed by questions of timing and chemistry. Insiders whisper that the coaching staff values optionality, and Horford represents exactly that, someone who can adapt to different game plans without complaint. The speculation frames him as insurance, not against injury, but against chaos. In high-pressure environments, chaos is the true enemy, and experience is the antidote. The Lakers' interest is said to be rooted in this understanding. They are not chasing youth for youth's sake, but balance. Horford's rumored willingness to embrace this role adds credibility to the story. It suggests alignment, a rare commodity in a league driven by individual ambition. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, the off-court narrative also plays a role in sustaining this speculation, because Los Angeles offers a platform unlike any other. Horford is rumored to be comfortable with attention, yet not dependent on it. This balance is crucial in a market where scrutiny can overwhelm. The whispers suggest that he sees the city as a place to amplify his voice beyond basketball, whether through leadership or long-term planning. The $5 million figure again symbolizes simplicity, a contract that does not complicate the bigger picture. People close to the situation hint that he values stability at this stage, both professionally and personally. The Lakers, for all their noise, can offer structure when expectations are clear. This mutual understanding is what keeps the rumor alive. It feels plausible because it is grounded in logic rather than fantasy. No one is promising miracles, only competence and commitment. In a league often fueled by extremes, that moderation stands out. As the speculation reaches its current peak, it remains exactly that, a rumor shaped by whispers, logic, and imagination. Yet the consistency of the narrative gives it weight. Horford accepting a $5 million offer to join the Lakers is framed not as a gamble, but as a calculated alignment of values. Experience meets ambition. Humility meets opportunity. Whether or not the move materializes, the conversation itself reveals how much the league still values players who understand the game beyond highlights. In Los Angeles, every decision is magnified, every signing dissected. This rumor survives that scrutiny because it feels organic, because it speaks to basketball truths that transcend trends. A veteran choosing fit, a franchise choosing stability, and a city ready to project its dreams onto another name. Until anything becomes official, This story lives in the space between possibility and reality, fueled by the belief that sometimes the quietest moves make the loudest impact. The rumor refuses to fade because it taps into something deeper than a simple roster move, and that is the belief that Al Horford still has chapters left that cannot be measured by traditional metrics. People close to the league whisper that his basketball mind is what truly attracts interest, a mind shaped by years of adapting to different systems, teammates, and expectations. In conversations behind closed doors, his potential arrival is framed as a tone setter, someone who understands how fragile momentum can be during long stretches of season. The $5 million offer continues to be described not as a limitation, but as a mutual understanding that this partnership would be built on trust rather than obligation. There is speculation that Horford values environments where preparation is respected and communication is clear, and those familiar with the situation claim that this is exactly how the pitch was presented to him. The narrative suggests he sees himself as a problem solver, someone who can calm frantic possessions and organize chaos when emotions run high. In a league often dominated by speed and flash, his appeal lies in patience and angles. That contrast is precisely why the rumor resonates, because it hints at a team seeking balance rather than spectacle. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.